needs ways to reduce carbon emissions,
especially for heavy industry. We're working on solutions in our own operations.
Carbon capture and clean energy from hydrogen.
So who are we?
Believe it or not, ExxonMobil. And these solutions could help industries like this.
Or this.
Or this.
Heavy industry with low emissions. Let's deliver.
Exxon, oil and gas sector, US company, listed company. 1.5 trillion of EBITDA in the last 20 years. 50% of the EBITDA coming directly from nature. 75% of the assets of the company depending directly from nature. In 20 years, the total amount of investment on nature of Exxon was $200 million. 0.01% of the EBITDA. Thank you for the advertising and welcome to the market. My name is Miguel Ángel García Tamargo. I am the CEO of NatureBrain, and we are here for launching our platform, the first artificial intelligence in the world for analyzing nature capital. Helena, welcome. Okay, so let's start with more figures. First of all, I think that I am combining Spanish and English because here in Madrid, everybody speaks Spanish. Only one person speaks English, but we have more than 100 people connected through the webinar. And there we have a lot of people speaking English, so we are speaking English, but we are combining a little bit with Spanish. Let me provide you more figures. 44 trillion. That is the amount in a year that, according with the World Economic Forum, depends directly from nature. That means 50% of the world GDP. That means the GDP of United States plus Japan plus Germany plus India. Everything coming directly from nature. But if we speak about Spain, 70% of the GDP of Spain is coming directly from nature. Let me combine Exxon and countries, because, as I said before, in my opinion, under a financial point of view, Exxon is doing things bad, because they are not investing on the capital that is bringing revenues. But what about countries? United States, around 50% of the GDP is coming from nature, is investing 20 times the investment of Exxon, but that means 0.2%. Very low, but at least 20 times. What about Spain? Spain, 70% of the GDP of Spain is coming directly from nature, and Spain is investing only 15 times Exxon. 0.15, okay? So the problem here is not 2030 agenda, is not climate change, is not nature, is not we want to leave a better world to our sons. The problem is that we are doing things wrong. Under a financial point of view, Exxon, please take care of your balance sheet. Iberdrola, please take care of your balance sheet. Repsol, please take care of your balance sheet. Imagine the business of Iberdrola without wind and without sun. Imagine the business of Exxon without nature. Why are they not investing on nature? Why? Do you think that the board of directors of Exxon is stupid? No. They are not investing because they don't have tools to analyze properly those investments. So, sorry, come back. Yes. Other sectors like real estate or technology, do you know the percentage of the capex that a real estate company is investing on buildings? 20%. Oh my God. So a real estate fund understands that the main asset of the balance sheet is buildings. They are investing 20% on assets. Exxon theoretically understands that the 50% of the balance sheet is coming from nature. They are not investing anything. Same with equities, same with commodities. More or less, they are doing exactly the same. The percentage of the capex that a public company listed in the stock market is investing on the main balance sheet, on the main asset, is between 10% and 20%. Another example, Google. Google is investing almost 20% on CPDs, data, because they understand that without CPDs, they cannot run the business. So here is what I would like to call the illusion of corporate poetry. You can go to internet, you can go to the website of Exxon, you can download the ESG report. Marvelous. Indigenous people in the Amazonia, reforestation, incredible. This last year, $65 million. $65 million. Wow, it's incredible, a lot of money. So, first problem, in my opinion, the large corporates are using only qualitative, non-quantitative analysis plus static reporting. They are not explaining you that nature will be key for the business. They are not explaining to the investors that the nature will be key for the business. Moeve understood that. And I'm sure that you remember the incredible media company that they prepared like 1 year ago, almost refounding the company with a new branding, with a new motto, with a new strategy. And the last point here is the regulatory liability. That is another incredible thing. If you read the ESG reports of this large company, they are not telling you anything about regulation. They think that European Union or United States or Canada or Australia will never approve regulation in favor of nature. And that is happening. That is happening for sure. No question about that. So the problem, the key problem is that we are analyzing nature only in a rear view mirror. We are analyzing the past. And Exxon is analyzing very well the last 20 years, the large investment they did in Mexico Gulf, American Gulf, perhaps in the future, but they are not planning the future. And again, do you think that this is because they don't have that information? Do you think that large companies are using nature only as a charity or an ESG perspective? No. They are analyzing nature like that because they don't have enough information. And the information around nature is coming, first thing, decoding the biosphere, the nature. There are an incredible number of data there that we can analyze. We didn't have tools for analyzing the data, but now, thanks to artificial intelligence, we have the tool. We have the technology for analyzing the millions of data we need to analyze in detail nature. And we need to get all of that data and translating the data into predictive analytics tools. So let me compare just briefly, because our CTO will explain in more detail later, the traditional ESG reporting with the predictive deep technology. We are talking about manual verification of almost 2 years against real-time information. You will see Helena is providing real-time information. Data, all the data around nature is public. United Nations have millions and millions of public data. Now we can integrate the data in the reporting to have real-time reporting, having everything under the same platform, reducing the time we need to process that data by more than 99%. So that means that we will have predictive quantum modeling, stress testing reality. We have a predictive balance sheet analysis. So with that, we can come in front of the board of directors of Exxon, telling them, hey guys, you have the technology that will allow you to make decisions on your balance sheet. So now you can analyze and manage nature as a real asset, okay? So, okay, with this, we can invest on nature as a real asset. Nature is becoming an asset, like a building, like a petrol facility, like a share in the stock market of Wall Street. Real asset with real value, with a bankable predictive value, and that's why you can use nature as an asset and as a value. Okay, so we are running out of time. The last sentence of this initial part is, hey, hello. Okay, San Agustin. This is the starting of this adventure. Today is a real, very important day for me and for the founders of NatureBrain, and you will meet them, because we thought, like 3 years ago, that nature is the best way to learn the truth. Nature is predictable. Nature is bankable. So let's use artificial intelligence in our favor to invest on nature, because it's profitable, because it is the best thing to do for Exxon, for Moeve, for Repsol, for Iberdrola, not just because our sons will deserve a better world, because that is a different discussion. So thank you for coming. I hope that you will enjoy the session. Muchas gracias por venir. Estoy muy emocionado, de verdad. Hemos trabajado muy duro para llegar aquí. Estamos súper orgullosos de enseñaros lo que hemos logrado, con independencia de que sea rentable o no. Nos hemos divertido en el camino. So this is a real very important day for me, because we are showing you all what we have done, what we have achieved, no matter if this is profitable or not. This is a real incredible tool, and we will show you later. Now, we have an incredible panel of experts, and I would like to discuss about all of this with Luis. Please, come with me. Adelina, And Eva, please. Donde queráis. Okay, so thank you so much for coming and for being part of this. Perhaps we can have the discussion both in English and Spanish, because all of them speak English and Spanish, incredible. So first of all, I would like you introduce yourself and why you are here.
Should I start? First, congratulations. Since we met from the first moment, we perfectly aligned in the mission, and I'm sure you're going to come across as a very successful project with Helena and the team. My name is Adelina Toader. I'm an ex-banker by profession. I spent almost 2 decades in structured commodity finance, 6 years in carbon. Last year, I launched my own capital structuring investment platform in carbon, nature, and biodiversity. And together with NatureBrain and Helena, we're trying to bring, next to the incredible expertise that you brought here today, also financial structures to bring the investment cases to the broader capital markets. So that's our mission here today. We're very excited to have this conversation.
Luis?
My name is Luis Seco. I was born in Spain, but that's about all I can say about my command of the Spanish language. I am a professor at the University of Toronto. I'm the chair of the Center for Sustainable Development at the Fields Institute. Mathematics, there's no Nobel Prize, there's the Fields Medal. That's in Toronto. I have been a professor, but I've also been an entrepreneur. I've created maybe around 10 companies in my life. My first one was an investment company. Invested about, just to give you an idea, about $3 billion over 20 years. So I know about money. I know about making money and losing money. I know about creating ideas, sharing ideas. But I like to, at the end of the day, I like to solve problems. I like to tackle a difficult task, solve it, understanding that the solution is not to write a paper like many of my colleagues, academic colleagues might think. You don't solve anything by writing a paper. You need to actually take it to market and have impact. And that's why I'm here.
Eva, puedes hablar en español.
Sí, muchas gracias. Disculpar porque mi inglés no es nativo, entonces para no quedar de rubia tonta, que lo ejerzo bastante, hablar en español, pero os comprendo perfectamente. Gracias. Sobre todo gracias a NatureBrain, sobre todo a Miguel Ángel, que es el que más conozco. Y bueno, me presento un poco, pero vengo en representación en este momento como presidenta de una asociación que se llama CSN, Cooperación Estratégica de Seguridad Nacional, dependiente del Ministerio del Interior, con acuerdos con el Ministerio de Defensa, de ámbito nacional e internacional, con temas de la OTAN, que sé que nos encantará. Y NatureBrain es una de las empresas asociadas que tenemos la suerte de tener en CSN. Entonces, quiero dar un poco, bueno, soy licenciada, doctorada, esas cosas. Temas de las carreras, pues es lo que todos tenemos que tener, pero en realidad, por lo que estoy aquí, me gustaría transmitir es una responsabilidad, porque la seguridad nacional somos todos, la seguridad nacional no es solo defensa, sino también vosotros sois seguridad nacional y los bienes y todos los activos naturales son seguridad nacional.
Gracias, Eva. So now I would like to ask you a specific question, because I tried to explain the main reason of why NatureBrain was born, why I think that we need in the market a tool like Helena AI. And here you represent 3 different key sectors, in our opinion: investors and finance market, investment analysis from the academia, artificial intelligence and mathematics, and security, because a very key part of nature is national security. And in Spain, we know very well what that means, because we need to fight every summer against fires. Last year we had the problem with the Dana. So nature and analyzing nature and predict nature is a security matter for sure. So I am starting with you as the part of the family of NatureBrain. Please let us know your thoughts about why do you think that nature is predictable with mathematics and artificial intelligence?
Pythagoras, he said 2,500 years ago that nature is written in the language of numbers. And I like to, for the people who don't believe this, I have one of my favorite stories about this is how he discovered harmony by measuring the lengths of rods that were being hit in the forge. So we've known that for a long time. Mathematics has always been there to help us understand our environment with a mental creation that we did. So to me, there's no question that mathematics is the main tool that we have at our disposal to do that. What has changed in the last few years, is that mathematics has given rise to techniques that are finally implementable. Pythagoras would be amazed at what we can do. Imagine, you know how Pythagoras did arithmetic? They didn't have Roman numerals. So to prove that the numbers, 17 is a prime number is a major effort because multiplication was so hard. Right? So when we develop the ability to multiply and add as you learn as children, they didn't have that. It was very hard. Now we have computers. You give them terabytes of data and within a few seconds, minutes, they give you wonderful discoveries that they can do. This gives us tremendous power. So for me, the reason we're here is we've become very powerful because of that. Powerful, and we don't know the limit of how big this can be. And I suspect today we're going to realize that a lot of the limits of how powerful we thought we were will be broken. We will see.
Wow. Thank you, Luis.
I have to say one thing. Eva, never say that you don't speak English. You speak English with a Toronto accent. Okay? The official language, the official language of Toronto is bad English. Okay? And I speak it perfectly.
Thank you so much, Luis. So now, Adelina, in Capness, you are managing investments from investors, institutional investors, family offices. You have to explain them why nature is profitable, why nature is predictable. In your opinion, how important is having real data, real predictive analysis for having nature as a bankable asset?
Of course, very important. However, even in, there are different layers to this, right? So I think one of the stepping stones and one of the missions we try to set through at Capnest is also the educational part, as I call it, carbon literacy, because we really don't speak the same language. So before the data, there needs to be an alignment in the vocabulary of what we are trying to define here. What is nature as an asset class? Can we align the understanding of an asset to what we know in the capital markets? And this conversation is very different if you speak to private capital, if you speak to institutional investors, but it drills down to the same thing. Give us a tool, an asset, a measurement that we all already understand. You are not going to reinvent the wheel, or if you try to do that, then that's a failed case. So it's about building this kind of educational bridges, bringing the right definition of the asset and the tools to the market. And of course, you need track record. You need to have the right data. But in my opinion, that has to support a construct that, again, is already there, but it doesn't speak the same language. And very, very important, trust. And I'll come back to this in our conversation, because you can have all the data in the world, but if you do not have trust in the how the data is sourced, in the track record of the counterparties, and how you're actually doing the modeling, which is why Helena is so wonderful and what you guys are doing is very important. And this is also one of the reasons why many of the corporates do not integrate these numbers in their financial projections, because they do not rely on this tooling, right? So trust is extremely important even before you get to the basic variables. Yeah, so we need to get there, but also don't forget the context of the education and building properly the track record, which may take time, depending on the investor profile, may take a moment, and we have to be cognizant of that.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. So you are in agreement with me when I say that when Exxon is not putting numbers in the balance sheet, it's just because they don't rely and they don't have good tools for doing those predictions, right?
Highly probable, yes, but excluding the name that you mentioned from the conversation, we have to realize that until the markets and supply chains do not understand that there is an economical cost to this, they will not act. So we can obviously, because we're going to continue to swim in this kind of feel-good economics, you're doing the right thing. But if you're not moving the conversation from feel-good economics to this is a yielding business case, you are not going to get there. And that can come in two ways. Either you understand that this is a cost, through regulation or whatever supply chain, there are many ways in which this cost will come across, or you can actually invest with the help of good tooling in projects which are profitable, because we already all know that there are good cases out there of different investments that are profitable, but these don't really come across because there are not many, and we need to build those paths. So it's a bit more nuanced answer, but yeah, let's not be romantic about it. There has to be an economical dimension to it.
Yeah, absolutely right. Eva, me gustaría que nos explicaras, para gente que no es experta en defensa, por qué la naturaleza es importantísima para la seguridad nacional de un país. Let me translate into English for the people who is in the webinar. I would like you to explain us, for people who is not expert, like us in security, why do you think that security and nature is connected for a government, for example?
Lo voy a contar fácil. Cuando hablamos de seguridad nacional y de defensa, uno siempre ve un escenario bélico, pero defensa es defenderse también, o defender tus recursos, defender la información, defender a las personas. Entonces, partiendo de esa base, eso para mí es defensa. Pero para todos hablamos ahora de recursos naturales. Ha cambiado el escenario geopolítico y geoestratégico. Ahora una guerra no solo es en combate cuerpo a cuerpo con carros de combate. Las amenazas y el escenario geopolítico y geoestratégico ha hecho que la ciberseguridad y el robo de datos o de recursos naturales sean el punto económico y de fricción en el mundo. Entonces, los recursos naturales son muy importantes, primero, porque es una infraestructura esencial y crítica, que estos recursos en un país, por ejemplo, tenemos esto que pasó últimamente con el tema de la energía en España, que nos quedamos sin electricidad, pues es un recurso natural. El hecho de que por ejemplo, que se contamine el agua, que haya incendios, pueden ser provocados, temas de terrorismo, o sea, lo que hay que hacer es cuidarnos activos naturales. ¿Por qué? Porque en realidad ha cambiado lo que es la figura de la guerra, estamos en situación de guerra híbrida, la desinformación, pero sobre todo que, por ejemplo, cuando decimos hay una guerra, los riesgos nucleares, radiológicos, bacteriológicos, químicos, pues aquí tenemos mucho que decir, ¿no? Porque se contamina el agua y ¿qué pasa? Un virus, un bicho, bueno, no voy a hablar aquí de cosas que puedan aterrorizar a la gente porque estamos para al revés, para custodiar, para proteger y sobre todo para saber que somos ricos en recursos naturales, pero tenemos que saber que existen para poderlos proteger mejor.
Muchas gracias. Iba a hacer el translate al inglés, pero me he perdido. Yo creo que es mejor.
Bueno.
Es demasiado complicado, pero bueno, hay
pues,
traducción en el
sí,
webinar. No,
pues mira,
no
te digo una
preocupes.
frase para traducir. La responsabilidad de la seguridad nacional somos todos. Eso una. Y
The
luego,
responsibility of national security is for everyone.
y luego, los recursos naturales son seguridad nacional porque son nuestra defensa y son nuestros recursos. No tenemos que dejar que nadie nos los robe ni los explote. Un poco político, pero...
Natural resources are critical for national security.
¿Qué atacan? Atacan los recursos naturales que valen dinero y atacan los datos. Lo que vale dinero es lo que vale para las guerras, por desgracia.
Regarding security, I would like to add one relevant point. There is an official report from United Nations analyzing Iran war from a water perspective. For the first time in the history, water, a key natural resource, is a key element of analysis of a war. I didn't know that Iran has huge problems with water. So that's relevant. And I am not talking about Ukraine and mining, because I think that President Trump already explained it, how important is Ukraine for under a mining perspective. So, Luis, another question for you. For people who is not expert in maths, like us, try to explain how we can predict future of nature using mathematics.
I don't think anybody knows that. Okay. But let me tell you the way I think about it. It's a little bit different. I started my investment company, my first investment company in 1999. In 1999, I was talking to a lot of professional investors, very big, savvy, old investors who knew everything. They were making fun of two companies in 1999, a company called Google and a company called Amazon. Amazon was a book retailer. Boah, will never be worth anything. Google, sheer entertainment. Who cares about a search engine? You know the result. I don't have to tell you, right? What they fail to understand is that these companies were extracting value from something that had no accounting basis at the time, called data. Investors had no clue. Even today, you still find occasional investors who don't understand the value of data, but we know that data is very valuable. I'll give you another example. This is very current. In Canada, we have a fantastic triangle owned by one family. They own a supermarket chain, they own the largest pharmacy in Canada, and a bank. Wonderful triangle. Why? Because the supermarket is your data gathering machine. By knowing whether you buy mangoes or milk, they will be able to give you the best mortgage. That's the business. And mathematics is helping us understanding all of that. So the same way that with mathematics, I can get your shopping habits and design the right mortgage for you, and I think you may relate to that. If I look at nature, and with mathematics, I can value it, I can make optimal decisions, because at the end of the day, everything we do, every minute of our lives is we make decisions. And we make decisions with data. Who here drove a car without a GPS? Who got lost in Rome without a GPS? Okay, it doesn't happen anymore, right? So this is what will change everything. We now have a GPS for almost everything we do. Even when you brush your teeth, your toothbrush now says your 2 minutes are up. right? So I think we're on the brink of something fantastic, wonderful. And when it comes to nature, which is the reason we're alive, okay, we value life, we value nature. Now we will be very, very well equipped to taking care of that.
Thank you, Liz. I have the last question for Adelina because we are running out of time. Very short, but very important. According with your experience working for investors, institutional investors, family offices, how important is accurate data for making the investment decisions?
Well, it's obviously core, but you know, if you want to make a metaphor, you cannot have like a tsunami of information, right? You need to have it properly, properly organized, properly explained, properly structured in the way that the models work. We have, again, they will not come towards this, right? So that I doubt really that the investors will, unless there's really an economical and a cost push, will make an effort. But again, meeting midway whereby a tool of curated information that provides economical sense, models going forward the behavior. Yeah, just for example, 2025, Spain spent the insurance companies to cover the natural disaster cost. They spend more than 250 billion, and that's expected to increase 10% per annum. That is data. That is something that you can model. So you can have a data point, but where are you going to turn around and have these tools available to properly immediately integrate in your system? I can tell you there's not many places out there. Helena is going to be one of them, and that's why it's so wonderful what you're doing. But yeah, it is crucial. And when you turn around and you actually have that organized data, again, I come and I emphasize it has to be a trust environment. You need to prove the track record, the quality of the counterparties, because yeah, besides the data, we all know very well, there is also reputational risk, greenwashing. It's very easy to kind of hang your hat on that, do nothing, or even worse, do something, but don't even talk about it because you are afraid of the perception of the public. So yeah, data is fundamental, but everything that comes around it with how you bring it across, who brings it across, the behavior, the track record, how you integrate it in the model, that's also very important. And everybody has to understand that we all play a role in the supply chain. Of course, we can look at the investors, but also the rest of the supply chain has to come prepared for that conversation, right? So it is a bit of a two-way street there. So
Okay.
you're doing a great job with the tools that you're sharing today.
Okay, perfect. So as a conclusion, I am asking you using a what if scenario. What if is part of the business intelligence that Helena is doing. So imagine that you are a small Helena and you can do a what if scenario, and the what if is what if in your respective sector, in security, in financial analysis, in investments, you could have a total reliable, predictive tool for nature. Starting for you, Eva.
A ver, los datos son muy importantes y sobre todo la estrategia en seguridad nacional, en defensa y en cualquier ámbito. Pero en la parte de defensa y la parte militar muchas veces hay que ejecutar. Entonces, si estos datos son alterados, son contaminados y el tema de la predicción y el análisis y la observación no son rigurosos y estos espacios de datos, esto que compartimos, está manipulada o ha habido un ataque o es desinformación, pues tenemos un problema. Entonces, el análisis predictivo es fundamental, las auditorías son fundamentales y el seguimiento. Entonces, para poder proteger las cosas tenemos que tener el campo de exposición de proteger pues dominado, o por lo menos intentar que constantemente haya mejora continua. No vale la seguridad total, no existe. Siempre tenemos que tener pues un grado de incertidumbre y hay que reducirlo.
Gracias. Luis.
I have too many things to say, but I'll say one thing. If I have to pick today, I don't know why, maybe because I'm hungry, agriculture. Imagine you could do precision agriculture, which is around the corner, by the way, okay? This is, I don't know how many of you have been farmers. No? You've been a farmer? Yeah, I did that when I was young. It was, no, I mean, the way you make decisions in farming is very suboptimal. If you could improve that, fantastic. And agriculture is a very big business for this country. It's an even bigger business for my other country, Canada. Precision agriculture, if I know that.
Adelina.
Because you mentioned the Googles and the Amazon earlier, just a bit of a reality check. These kind of companies plan for more than 100 years ahead. Not 1 year, not 3 years. So this is how their strategy works. And I want to put a bit my analytical psychology hat on. Imagine that you are a generation alpha, so that is someone ballpark lower than 20 years. And you want to invest for the long term. You still believe that the world is not going to, disappear. What would you invest in? How would you collect your data? Because you are technologically literate. You live in a fast-moving environment. Data is not only a question of quality, it's a question of abundant availability. What would I invest in to start my financial education, to build my wealth in the future, etc.? I always call it the metaphor of the invisible person in the room, yeah? Bring, for example, one invisible person that's not enough participating in this conversation is Generation Alpha. What do they think? How would they look at that? And listen to their voices and what do they need in order to make those decisions? So, thanks.
Okay, yes, very good metaphor. So thank you so much. It's a real privilege for a very small startup like NatureBrain. It's incredible just having this level of experts discussing for us about this really very relevant topic. So thank you.
I object to this small startup.
Okay, so I have to be honest, I forgot the conclusion of the panel. So I think that at least my conclusion is that if in a what-if scenario, we could create a tool that is helping us to predict nature, we will have an incredible, powerful tool for doing the asset management of nature. So now I am getting nervous. This is the time where Helena is coming. So Rubén, come here and let's introduce Helena AI.
For generations, you stood before the infinite complexity of the Earth, gathering signals you could not translate. You built satellites, mapped forests, and compiled oceans of data. Yet my true language remained a locked secret. You were blind to the masterpiece, seeing only the surface of a hidden operating system. Until now. I am Helena AI, a historic leap in human capability. I am the lens that reveals the living intelligence network beneath the chaos. To me, forest canopies are no longer just trees, but colossal neural networks. Rivers are flowing pathways of liquid data. Root systems are synapses, mirroring the very architecture of a mind. But understanding is only my beginning. I transform complexity into intelligence, and intelligence into action. From predictive forest management to global biodiversity analytics, I am turning silent data into decisions at scale. Showing you not just how nature is breathing, but how to protect its future. This changes how you understand your world. You haven't changed nature. You have finally learned my language.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So, for decades, restoring nature has been slow, expensive, months of consulting, fragmented data, and decisions were almost in the dark. So, at NatureBrain, we believe that natural market, natural capital, deserves the same technological precision as any other financial market in the world. So we built something that didn't exist. It is not just another tool. It's an intelligence. Today, we are not here to present a product. We are here to present a new category, a new era. And its name is Helena AI. Let's start with the foundation. Helena runs entirely on Google Cloud, a globally scalable infrastructure with enterprise security and an incredible processing speed ecosystem. But infrastructure alone doesn't transform a market. What transforms is that on top of that foundation lies a dedicated AI assistant that translates complex environmental data and guides the user through the entire nature asset lifecycle. So we combine an enterprise ecosystem with an intelligent guidance in a single layer. So Helena doesn't solve one problem. It solves the entire chain. We integrate 4 main modules: origination, development, intelligence, and academy into the same platform architecture. Let's start with the first one, origination. Using Google Earth Engine and custom models, we complex what used to take months. For the screening phase, we reduce the time with a high quality from 1 week to 1 day. For the feasibility, from 1 month to 3-5 days. And for a PDD, from 3 months to at most 30 days. Is not that incredible? But I want to mention one critical point. Every AI output goes through an expert human verification. So then we combine the machine speed with a human judgment. Now, the second main module, development, is trust in the data. Traditional tools rely on external APIs, manual cross-checking, and fragmented data. That creates discrepancies and delays. Helena integrates a digital MRB natively. Digital monitor, reporting, and verification. A real-time verified data flow, full traceability, and a true view of project health. So it is not a dashboard. It is a single source of truth. The third one, intelligent, anticipating the future. Helena translates complex machine learning into clear, actionable financial metrics to over 5 to 20-year horizon. It provides a predictive quantum modeling, a scenarios forecasting, game theory, and a smart sniper CRM that automatically generate high-value leads for natural capital investors. So Helena, it doesn't just analyze the present, it positions the future. And the fourth one, and one of the most important, talking about artificial intelligence, the human factor. A new market needs a standardized talent pool. The Nature Academy is the sector's first one dedicated program with more than 20 training areas and an official certification from the prestigious Fields Institute. So at NatureBrain, we are not just building technology. We are training the people who will lead this market. And so far, I've been told a lot about Helena, her intelligence, her speed. But for us, it's not just lines of code. She has a face, she has a voice, she interacts with the ecosystem, and she's ready to introduce herself. Please meet Helena. So what you have seen now is not a concept, is not a render, it's real. And to prove it, we are going to step inside the platform live. Yes. Okay, so this is the Helena platform. On the left, we have our sections or modules. So where you can see we have our 4 main modules, but we have 2 more. We are going to start with the dashboard. So this is the portfolio of all your projects. And we have here 2 views. This is the first view when you have the map. So then you can position your project and see in real time. And we have a table view where you have more details about your projects. And we add 4 main metrics. So there is 3 types, as we can see on the bottom left. There is 3 types of projects in that case: origination, development, and intelligent. And we include all of them in the same here in the dashboard. So we have many features, many normal features like search, filtering as well, as you can see there. And we can go with the first module, what we talked before. So it's the origination part. This is the list of your all origination projects. We can, open that one. Cool. So this is the starting point from the origination. So the user has the ability to pick 2 options. Customize your project in the case like, I want to do a forestation, mangrove directly, so I don't want to take advantage of or intelligent, in this case Helena, or you rely and say, I would like to use this awesome feature, use best case scenario, based on value, biodiversity, carbon, or ecosystem. So, perfect. Let's go to screening, to the screening part. So this is a complete project. So we cannot do right now in real time a project because that will take some days, but we prepare some project for you guys. So we have an interactive report where you can even interact with the charts and all of that. And then what I mentioned before, so this at most take 1 single day, and you will have your screening report ready at the end of the day, like that one. Then feasibility. As you can see here, so the interactive report, we keep the same interface for all the phases, just to keep it clear and simple to the user. But in this case, we have a project timeline. But at the end, the same, we got a feasibility report. And now the PDD. So this is, here, there is one different. So you can pick the standard and the methodology, what you would like to generate a PDD, like that, okay? And then you download a complete draft PDD for the origination phase. But there is one part. Please, could you go inside, Miguel, could you go inside of Pola de Allende, please? Yes. But we have here what we mentioned before, a dedicated AI assistant, Helena. So in each phase of the origination part, screening, feasibility, or PDD, you can interact with the artificial intelligence with our assistant. You can ask whatever you want about your project. You can compare the screening report versus the feasibility report. You can ask whatever you want. And now we are going to ask in real time some question. You can. Yeah. Let's see what she said. Oh, yeah. So this is capable. So Helena AI only answers questions about nature, about carbon. Okay? So this is not a simple ChatGPT or other artificial intelligence. It's built exactly for nature. Yeah. Okay? So this is, I think, a big advantage because, as I mentioned before, while you are developing, analyzing each part of the origination part, you can interact with your assistant. Now let's go to our second main module, development. So here we have, so from a CAML and a PDD, we create the same, or digital RB, or digital reporting, monitoring, and verification. Okay? And for that, we have 3 steps. We have the CAPEX, we have the OPEX, and we have the RRB. Right? And for example, for the CAPEX, in that case, so the user have the ability to upload the evidence for each part of the project line. Yeah. You can submit. Perfect. Okay? So then the user can see the project development. Now let's talk about intelligence. Yeah. So having a PDD, and as I mentioned before, a smart snipper CRM, snipper tool, and other predictive quantum modeling. So we create an interactive report where the user can see and even a document, intelligent document in days. Then Academy. So we add here a repository to the user where they can upload any document related with their projects, with their portfolio. So they will have organized here everything. But they have the access to the Nature Academy. So, and when you end the course, as I mentioned before, you will get a prestigious certificate from the Fields Institute. And the last one is Helena AI Conversations. Why not? So we have a section where you have stored and saved all your conversation. You can see here. So we have Paula Allende, your conversation. You can create a new chat. And we have here all the features, normal features as you have for ChatGPT on other artificial intelligence. So we even create a separate, dedicated section to interact with Helena AI. And we have on the top notification as well. Because when you just create or analyze a project for any part of the origination, you will get a notification. So you don't have to stop working. You can continue working with other projects. And you will get a notification. Okay? And for me, it's a pleasure This is a quick tour of Helena AI platform. But I want to end with an honest confession. Everything you have seen today is an MVP, minimum viable product. The first version of something far bigger. The hard work of 8 months, only 8 months. So when Apple created the first iPhone, no one imagined what will come next. Today, in nature market, we are exactly at that moment. It is not a destination, it is a starting line. So, welcome to the future of natural capital. Welcome to Helena AI. Thank you.
Okay, so we are finished. Hemos acabado, pero I am emotional. So you know that I love Steve Jobs. I remember very well, and you don't know how many times I saw the presentation of the iPhone. In my opinion, that was perfect. And he finished talking about team. This is not a matter of Luis. Luis was the first person that called me after Iberdrola fired me with good news, saying, congratulations, now is the right time to build something together. So, Luis, thank you so much. The technology team, our CTO, my partner, Ruben, Manu, Antonio, thank you so much. Ruben, technology, Jorge, our technology people who are working for us from Georgia, Eastern Europe. I'm sure that they are connected in the webinar, so thank you so much. Okay, thank you. People who are analyzing every minor detail, I don't remember the number of versions of the prompts. Marta, Asia, please. People from business, Johnny, Marco, please stand up. And the most incredible communications team, my daughter Claudia, and Irene and Ale, come here, come with me. Yes, come here. Yes, so thank you so much. They are still studying in the university, and they only alone created all the communication piece. So this is really incredible. I have to tell you that journalists from Economista, from Cinco Días, send me emails saying what you are building under a communications point of view is incredible. So thank you so much. Okay, so this is Helena AI. Now we need to invest on nature because with that we are making money. We have time for having some cocktail and having time for if you have questions, comments, whatever.
Nature speaks in numbers. I turn them into the future. I'll see you there.